Hello, dear students. Welcome to the discussion of the poem Still I Rise, written by Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou was born in 1928. She was an African American poet, also singer, dancer, and civil rights activist. Her works focus on identity, race, resilience, womanhood, and empowerment. Because she lived through racial segregation in the United States and worked closely with leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. She voiced against racism, black and white racism. Segregation and division between whites and blacks. She talks about that in her works. Here, Still I Rise was published in 1978 in her collection And Still I Rise. It has become an anthem of black pride, resilience, and women's empowerment. Her writings often reflect themes of identity, means they too have an identity, blacks too have an identity, Africans too have an identity. They have their own culture, they have their own practice, they are also human beings. They too have the same blood, they too live on the earth. Resilience, they fight against all the oppressions. Racial pride, they are emphasizing, they are celebrating their blackness, that is racial pride. Womanhood, that too a black woman. And struggle for freedom. They fight against oppression, domination. They are fighting for their own identity and freedom. When she wrote this poem, this was a time when African Americans were asserting their cultural pride after the civil rights movement of the 1960s. 1960s was the time of struggle. Black people started to assert their identity, their pride, their culture. ಧೈರ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ತಮ್ಮ ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವವನ್ನ ಹೇಳೋಕೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಬಂದಂತಹ ಸಮಯ ಅದು. ಆ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆದಿರುವಂತಹ ಪೋಯಮ್ ಇದು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಟ್ becomes an anthem of black pride. The poem is a protest against racism, sexism and oppression. It asserts the strength of marginalized people who, despite being crushed by lies, hatred, discrimination, continue to rise with dignity and hope. It's both personal, means it related to Maya Angelou too. Maya Angelou is speaking about herself as a black woman, and universal. It applies to every black woman, it applies to the black people. Any oppressed group or individual can relate to it. Because of its universality, it becomes an anthem. Let's read the poem. Still I rise. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I will rise. What does it mean? Oppressors may record false, hateful versions of our story. You may write me down in history. Means white people can write about black people. Twisted lies, like they are inferior, and the whites are superior, like they can twist the lies. You may trod me in the very dirt. Hateful versions of our story and try to degrade her, but she will rise again. And through this stanza, the poem opens with a direct address to the oppressor, here the whites. Maya acknowledges that history has often been written with bitterness and falsehood about her people, means blacks, especially African Americans, those who are living in US, Africans, those who are living in America. Yet, she refuses to be defeated by such misinterpretation. She compares herself to dust, which always rises no matter how much someone tries to trample on it. The metaphor of dust suggests resilience, persistence, and the inevitability of survival. Like dust, she rises. Like dust, they rise. The black people rise. Here, history shows distorted records of slavery and racism. So, it is twisted history. The oppressors have written the history according to their perspectives. False stereotypes about black people, that too black women. Dirt. She is talking about dirt. You may trod me in the very dirt. You can step on me. You can, dominate me in the same dirt. Means humiliation, degradation. She will rise like dust. She resists. She has that resilience no matter how much you step on it. ಆ ಧೂಳಿನ ಮೇಲೆ ನೀನು ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಕಾಲಿಟ್ಟರು ಆ ಧೂಳು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಮೇಲೆದ್ದೇಳುತ್ತೋ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಕೂಡ ರೈಸ್ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಇನ್ನೆವಿಟಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಸರ್ವೈವಲ್. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸರ್ವೈವ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾನ್ಸಾ. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Because I walk like I have got oil wells pumping in my living room. Here she shows her confidence, but if that confidence annoys others, irritate others, it annoys oppressors. Sassiness ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ like a bold attitude of Maya Angelou or bold attitude of black people, because they are asserting their identity now. If that confidence annoys others, but she walks with the pride of someone wealthy in spirit. She walks with pride. She provocatively asks if her self-confidence offends, irritates, annoys those who want her subdued. Oppressors want the black people to submit themselves. Her sense of pride is depicted as wealth. I have my own pride. I don't let myself down. That is what she is saying. Like oil wells pumping beneath the earth. Like the core of the earth. ಜ್ವಾಲಾಮುಖಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಭೂಮಿಯ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರುತ್ತೋ, ಈ ಆಯಿಲ್ ವೆಲ್ತ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಕೂಡ ಭೂಮಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರೋದು, ಪಂಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅದು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರುತ್ತೋ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಹರ್ ಪ್ರೈಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್, beneath the earth. This image is significant because it challenges the stereotypes of poverty and inferiority imposed on black people. Black people are being targeted like they are poor, they are inferior, by their color, they are inferior by their region. Like they are all stereotypes, stereotypical ideas. Instead, she presents, means apart from these ideas, she presents herself as someone rich in dignity and worth. She has some worth. She is also rich, whose power and confidence cannot be ignored. She is too confident. She has all the powers that any human being can have. Sassiness here, bold self-expression. Of course. So, oppressors always want the inferior to be submissive. ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ತಲೆಬಾಗಿ ತಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ನಿಲ್ಲಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅವರು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆದರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ತನ್ನ ಕೆಳಗಿರುವ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ತಿರುಗಿ ಬೀಳ್ತಾನೋ ಅದು ಇರಿಟೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಪವರ್ ಪಾಲಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್. ಆಯಿಲ್ ವೆಲ್ಸ್ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಎಂಡ್ಲೆಸ್ ಇನ್ನರ್ ವೆಲ್ತ್. ಲೈಕ್ ಭೂಮಿಯ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ವೆಲ್ತ್ ಇದೆಯೋ ಅದು ಕಾಣಿಸ್ದಿರುವಂಥ ವೆಲ್ತ್. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಕೂಡ they have their own identity, culture, pride, confidence, everything, dignity, power. They are also human beings, right? And here, pumping in my living room. Living room means personal identity filled with the strength. She is talking about her own personal identity too. And personal identity of the black people. Just remember, this applies to the personal history as well as the universal black people. Next stanza. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I rise. Third stanza. Here, Maya Angelou continues her questioning tone. Still she is questioning. Does her walk filled with pride and assurance disturb her dictators, oppressors, detractors? Her laughter and joy are, compared to owning hidden treasures like beneath the, like earth, like pumping, oil. So further, she is rising. Her rising is as natural and inevitable as the sun, moon, tides, and human hopes. Okay, this is mentioned here. With that all wealth, she is also confident enough. She is also powerful enough. And she has that dignity, and with that dignity she is saying, just like moons and like suns. So with the certainty of tides, ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಸಮುದ್ರದ ಅಲೆಗಳು ಎರ್ರಾಬಿರಿ ಹೇಗೋ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಒಂದು ಸರ್ಟೈನಿಟಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ರಿದಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಚಂದ್ರನ ಹಾಗೆ, ಸೂರ್ಯನ ಹಾಗೆ, ಸಮುದ್ರದ ಅಲೆಗಳ ಹಾಗೆ ನಾನು ರೈಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಹೋಪ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗಿಂಗ್ ಹೈ, ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ರೈಸ್. ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬಾರಿ ಸೋತ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಬಂದು ತನ್ನ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೋ ವಿತ್ ದಟ್ ಹೋಪ್. ಹಿ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಲೈಫ್ ವಿತ್ ದಟ್ ಹೋಪ್. ದೋ ಹಿ ಫೇಸಸ್ ಮೆನಿ ಫೇಲ್ಯೂರ್ಸ್, like that she also rises again and again and again with that hope. Like natural events, moon, sun, tides, storm, we can compare her here to the storm. She is rising. Moons and suns, unstoppable natural cycles. ಯಾರು ಎದ್ದೇಳಲಿ, ಯಾರು ಮಲ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಲಿ, ಸೂರ್ಯ ಉದಯಿಸ್ತಾನೆ. ಯಾರು ಹೇಗೆ ಇರಲಿ, ರಾತ್ರಿ ಹಾಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಚಂದ್ರ ಬಂದೇ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ. ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಟೈಡ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಪರ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲಾರಿಟಿ. ವಿ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಈವನ್ ದಿ ಟೈಡ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ರೈಟ್? ಅಲೆಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ತಡೆದು ನಿಲ್ಸೋಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತಾ? ನೋ, ನೆವರ್. ಅದು ಕೂಡ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಹೋಪ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗಿಂಗ್ ಹೈ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆಪ್ಟಿಮಿಸಮ್ ದಟ್ ರಿಫ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ಟು ಡೈ. ಅಯ್ಯೋ ನಾನು ಸೋತೆ ಅಪ್ಪ, ನಾನು ಸತ್ತೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಸತ್ತೋಗ್ತಾನ ಮನುಷ್ಯ? ಇಲ್ಲ, ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆದ್ರೂ ಎದ್ದೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಲೈಕ್ ದಾಟ್ she is rising like a sun, she is rising like a moon, she is rising like tide, and she has the same optimistic hopes like any human being has. Just as these elements follow their own natural rhythm regardless of human intervention, she too rises continually. The imagery, that continuity imagery emphasizes inevitability. ಅಂದರೆ ಸೂರ್ಯ ಉದಯಿಸಲೇಬೇಕು, ಬೆಳಗಾಗಲೇಬೇಕು, ಚಂದ್ರ ಉದಯಿಸಲೇಬೇಕು, ಸಮುದ್ರದ ಅಲೆಗಳು ಮೇಲೆ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಹೋಗೇ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. The rise is not a choice but a natural, unstoppable phenomenon here. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. So all the oppressors want the inferiors or the blacks to be bowed their heads. She challenges those who want her weak, to be broken with her grief. ಯಾರೆಲ್ಲ ಅವಳನ್ನ ವೀಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೋ, ಅಥವಾ ತಲೆಬಾಗಿ ನಿಲ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೋ, ಅಥವಾ ಲೈಕ್ ಇನ್ಫೀರಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೋ, ಶಿ ಈಸ್ ಚಾಲೆಂಜಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಆಲ್ ದೋಸ್ ಅಪ್ರೆಸರ್ಸ್. ಶಿ ರಿಫ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ಸಬ್ಮಿಷನ್. ನಾನು ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೂ ತಲೆ ಬಗ್ಗಲ್ಲ. ಶಿ ಈಸ್ ರಿಫ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್. The poet acknowledges that her oppressors would rather see her broken. That is what she is conveying us. Eyes lowered, shoulders hunched. ಅಂದರೆ ತಲೆಬಾಗಿ ನಿಂತಾಗ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಶೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಗುಬ್ಬಿಯಾಗಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಬಾಗಿರುತ್ತೋ, ಅಪ್ರೆಸರ್ಸ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ದಟ್ ದೇರ್ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಸೈಲೆನ್ಸ್ಡ್. ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಕೂಡ ವಾಯ್ಸನ್ನು ರೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು, ಮೇಲ್ವರ್ಗದವರ ಮುಂದೆ ಕೆಳವರ್ಗದವರು. This stanza evokes the image of a woman subdued and stripped of dignity. See, she is talking about a woman, she is talking about black people, she is talking about herself, remember. So, ಇವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ತಲೆಬಾಗಿ ನಿಲ್ಲಬೇಕು ಅಥವಾ ಕೀಳಾಗಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, ತಮ್ಮನ್ನ ತಾವು ಮೇಲು ಅಂತ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಕೂಡ ಭಾವಿಸಬಾರ್ದು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ಯಾರಿಗೆ? ಅಪ್ರೆಸರ್ಸ್ಗೆ. ಬಟ್ Angel rejects this image entirely and refusing to embody such defeat. I don't want to be defeated, because she has hopes. She will rise. She will not be bowed down to fit into the image of weakness, her enemy's desire. ಅವಳ ಅಪ್ರೆಸರ್ಸೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಶತ್ರುಗಳೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಲೈಕ್ ಪೇಟ್ರಿಯಾರ್ಕಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಯಾರೆಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಸಬ್ಮಿಸ್ಸಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಔದ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಬಯಸ್ತಾರೋ ಅವ್ರ ಮುಂದೆ ನಾನು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಕೂಡ ಹಾಗೆ ಬದುಕಲ್ಲ. ಅವರು ಬಯಸೋ ಹಾಗೆ ನಾನು ಬದುಕಲ್ಲ. ಶಿ ವಿಲ್ ರೈಸ್ ಅಗೈನ್. Does my haughtiness